So in the previous class, we had discussed about the concept of search trees. So, and we have also discussed about how you can represent a graph into search tree. So we know that search tree is nothing but it's a tree which represents all possible solutions. So if you consider a traveling salesperson problem, then if our goal is to start with node A or city A and come back to city A again, then all possible paths have to be represented using the tree concept. So here you can see here, so in this diagram A is at root node, that means we are going to start from root or node A. Then at the end you can see some leaf nodes. So some nodes are represented using double circle and some nodes have been represented using single circle. So nodes which have been represented using double circle, they are the goal nodes. Okay. So the path from A to A, where you are reaching to double circle, is known as complete path because that's your goal node. You are reaching the goal node successfully. But you can also see here there are some nodes such as, for example, E. It is represented using single circle. So you are starting from A and you are reaching to E. But our goal node is A. So E is not a goal node. So that is known as partial path. So path from A to E is known as partial path because you are not reaching to the goal node. And we have also seen one example, that is missionaries and cannibals problem. So you might have played this game. It's available as a flash game. I don't know whether it is supported on Windows 10, but definitely on Windows XP this flash game was very popular. Okay, so what happens is there are two banks for the river. So on one side of the river you have three missionaries and three cannibals, and using a single canoe you need to move all missionaries and cannibals to the other side. But there is a problem. At any point of time, the number of cannibals should not exceed the number of missionaries. If that happens, then cannibals will eat the missionaries. So this is the care you should take. So to solve that, we need to again find out the appropriate knowledge representation technique. So note here that I am stressing more on knowledge representation because if you represent the information properly, if you represent the knowledge properly, then it is very easy to solve that problem. Okay. So in this problem you can see here 331 is the initial state, right? So that means on one side of the river you have three missionaries, three cannibals and one canoe, and on other side of the river you have nothing. So our goal should be reach 331 from 000. Okay, that means these numbers will be reversed. That is, left hand side numbers will come to right hand side. So on left hand side you have the source and on right hand side you have the destination. So what is our initial state? Our initial state is 000. That means on other side of the river we don't have, or we have not yet reached, or the cannibals or missionaries have not yet reached the other side of the river. And the goal state is 331. That means we were able to successfully move three missionaries, three cannibals and one canoe on other side of the river without missionaries being eaten up by the cannibals. So the example cases, for example 2, 1, 1, such cases needs to be avoided because here the 2 means the cannibals and 1 means the missionary and another one means the canoe. So if at any point of time your cannibals become more, then you will not be able to move all cannibals and all missionaries on the other side. So you will be able to move only cannibals on the other side, but that is not our goal. So such kinds of puzzles can be solved using artificial intelligence. So for that we need to consider few operators. So first operator is that move one cannibal to the other side. Second one is that move two cannibals to the other side. Then third one is move one missionary to the other side, and fourth one is move two missionaries to the other side. And finally move one cannibal and one missionary to the other side. So these are the operators which you need to use while moving missionaries and cannibals to the other side. Now note here that if you apply operator 5, and operator 5 can be represented using the state 1, 1, 0. That means you are moving one missionary and one cannibal. Okay, that is absolutely fine because they are in equal number. When missionaries and cannibals are in equal number, then cannibals cannot eat missionaries. So that's perfectly valid state. Now, but if you apply operator 5 twice, then it will result into a state 2, 2, 1. Okay. Then, so what this indicates is that you can apply these operators for limited number of times. You cannot apply them as many times as you want. So that's why this will bring into some constraints. So the solution is you represent all possible moves using a tree. So you can see here this is a partial tree which whatever you are seeing on the screen. At the root node we have 0, 0, 0 that indicates the initial state. This is a partial tree, this is not a complete tree. Okay, so if you draw a complete tree it will be really a very big diagram. So it is not possible to draw everything and show it on the screen. But if you are interested, then you can take it up as an assignment and do it. Okay, so you can just observe the tree here. So if you consider the rightmost path, right? So on the rightmost path, you are moving one missionary, one cannibal, and one canoe. After this, you are going to move only one missionary. Okay, so this is how the tree works. So basically you are going to start from root node and you are going to reach the leaf node or your goal node, and when you traverse from root node to the goal node, you must have transferred 3 missionaries, 3 cannibals and 1 canoe to the other side. So that is the objective. Note here that all paths will not lead you to the goal node. Only some paths will lead you to the goal node. So example is mentioned here. So in this diagram you can see. So this diagram, whatever you are seeing on the screen, it is the extension of the previous diagram. Okay. But again, this is a partial diagram. It is not at all a complete diagram. But solutions are mentioned here. So again we are starting from 0, 0, 0, that is the initial state, and we take the middle path. So when you take the middle path, you can see here there are 2 paths which are leading us to 3, 3, 1. That is our desired goal state. Okay. Now note here that one thing you should ensure whenever you are drawing a tree, you should remove all the cycles. Okay. You might have already studied this in algorithms subject. Okay. The next concept is traveling salesman problem, and traveling salesman problem is NP complete problem. That means it's very hard problem to solve. We have not yet found a solution for in computing. So if you have already written a program in algorithms lab to solve traveling salesman problem. So what you can do is you can create a matrix of 200 by 200. That is, you are trying to solve traveling salesman problem for 200 cities. So if you try to solve this, then it will take a lot of time. Okay, so it will take a lot of time, and you may not be able to solve it in reasonable amount of time. So that's the problem. Even your system may hang if you go for 200 cities. Okay, so same thing happens with respect to Tower of Hanoi. If you go for 64 days, then your system will hang. Okay, so you need to study the goal of computer science. Why we are studying computer science is you need to solve the difficult problems, real world problems. So we need to check whenever we go on increasing the number of inputs, how our algorithm is performing. Is it giving the results with the same efficiency when we are having 10 cities, 20 cities, 30 cities, or 100 cities, or is it creating a problem? That means is it taking a more time? So that you need to check. If it is taking a more time, then that's the time to change the algorithm or optimize the algorithm, tweak the algorithm. Okay, so that is the goal of computer science, and that is the goal of studying algorithms subject. So when we consider problems, then problems are classified as P problems and NP problems. So when we say a problem is P, then that means that problem can be solved in polynomial time. Okay. So that means that the size of the problem increases. As the size of the problem increases, the time it will take a deterministic computer to solve a problem will increase by some polynomial function of size. Okay. Then there are also problems called as NP problems. These problems can be solved non-deterministically in polynomial time. So note here that P problems can be solved deterministically in polynomial time, whereas NP problems can be solved non-deterministically in polynomial time. Okay, so you might have already studied DFA and NFA in theory of computation or FAFL subject. So those concepts need to be used whenever you are solving the problems. So traveling salesman problem is NP complete problem. That means it is very hard to solve because you need to, if you want to solve it in polynomial time, then you need to solve it using non-deterministic computer. If you try to solve it using deterministic computer, then you may not be able to get the result, system may hang, or it may take years together to give you the result. So now let us consider the problem of traveling salesman problem. So here we have around 5 cities, right? We start from A and we want to come back to city A. So one possible solution is let's start from A, then move to B, then B to C, C to D, D to E, E to D, and again come back to A. And if we compute the distance, a to B is 900 miles, then B to C is 800 miles. So 900 plus 800 is 1700 miles. Then C to E is 1500 miles. So 1700 plus 1500 is 3200 miles. Then E to D is 600 miles. So that gives us the total of 3800 miles. Then again from D to A will give us the 4500 miles. So the total journey from A to A through the path A to B, B to C, C to D, C to E, and E to D and D to A will take 4500 miles. But this may not be the optimal result for us. Okay, we may have to find out some other path to visit these cities and come back to A. So in algorithms lab, you might have represented this using adjacency matrix and you might have solved the problem. Okay, so this is nothing but again the shortest path problem. But in AI, we are going to solve it using some other technique. So that means again we are going to represent this graph using a search tree. Okay. Note here that this is a partial search tree for the above traveling salesman problem. Okay. Now again, what it represents, we have a starting node or source node as A, then our destination node or goal node is also A. So you need to start from A and again come back to A. So in the process, you will discover many paths from A to A, and you will also note down the distance between the cities. Okay, so what this search tree will give you is, it's going to give you all possible solutions, all possible paths from node A to A, and out of these paths one will be the best solution, one will be the optimal solution. Okay, so this is how your search tree works. Now let's consider the example here and count the total number of miles from A to A. So first one, A to B is 900, B to C is 800, so that is 1700. Then C to D, will take the leftmost path first. Then C to D is 700, so that is 1700, 2400. Then D to E is 3000. Then E to A is 4000 miles. Now let's consider the alternative path again. So 900 plus 800 is 1700, 3200, 3800 and 4500. So note here that on the leftmost path we have two solutions. The leftmost path will give us 4000 miles, whereas the next path is giving us 4500 miles. Okay, so that means the first path is the best solution. So once you represent the problem using appropriate representation technique, it is just traversing from root node to destination node and comparing the results. And you can select the one which is giving you the best result depending on your requirement. Now note here that why this problem, why representing the traveling salesman problem is NP complete, why it is very hard. If we consider that we have 40 cities, then there will be 40 factorial paths. So if we are having 200 cities, then there will be 200 factorial paths. So traversing those many paths will take a lot of time. So that's a brute force method because we are going to start from left to right. So it is not a acceptable solution. It is not an acceptable solution. So for that we are going to make use of various search methods. So we may consider DFS or BFS. So they are brute force techniques. Then we may go for the combination of DFS and BFS, that is DFID, or some other algorithms such as beam search and so on. The next is to consider heuristic search. So we are going to discuss heuristics in detail when we reach that topic, but heuristics are certain conditions, okay, certain formula, certain rules we are going to apply in order to select the next city. So you might have observed in solving shortest path problem, whenever whenever you had multiple choices to select the next city, you have selected that city which has resulted in least cost or least distance. Okay, so similarly here we are going to consider, or we are going to select that city which is resulting in least distance whenever we have multiple cities to select. And this heuristic is called as nearest neighbor heuristic because we are considering least distance. So whenever we are considering least distance, then that means that city is nearer to us. So that is the nearest neighbor heuristic which we are going to apply. But note here that this is not the only heuristic we have. We have lot many heuristics. So we will discuss those heuristics whenever we reach that point. So next problem is Towers of Hanoi. So you can see here Towers of Hanoi problem. So you might have already studied this Towers of Hanoi problem in data structures subject. So if you have studied it, then you might have used concept of stack to solve Towers of Hanoi problem. If you have not studied, then fine. But there is a story behind Towers of Hanoi problem, a small story. So that also gives the indication of how complicated this problem is, how complex this problem is. Okay. So in Hinduism, we know that Lord Brahma is the creator of the universe. So he has some assistants. Their job is to move the discs from one pole to the another pole. And he has assigned them the job of moving 64 discs. Okay. Now it is said that world will end when Lord Brahma's assistant move all those 64 discs. Okay. So that means you just imagine how much time it will take to move just 64 discs. It's a very complicated problem. It's a very complex problem, very hard problem to solve. So just to move 64 discs from one pole to the another pole, it is taking millions of years. Okay. Then how you can solve it? Using artificial intelligence technique. Again, you need to go for appropriate knowledge representation technique. Okay. So we need to represent it again using a tree structure. Now, before discussing the tree structure, if you are not aware of Towers of Hanoi, then let's see this diagram again. So you can see here that there are three poles, pole number 1, 2 and 3 on the left hand side. So there are actually two diagrams shown. And in pole number 1, we have three discs. Now note here that largest disc is at the bottom and the smallest disc is at the top. And you need to move all these three discs from pole 1 to pole 3. But again, when you move all three discs, again you should maintain the same order. That is, largest disc should be at the bottom and smallest should be at the top. And based on their width, they should be placed at appropriate place. Okay. Now you cannot move all these three discs at a time. You have to move only one disc at a time. So in that case, you can use pole number 2 as the intermediary pole or temporary pole, which may help you to move other discs. Okay, so this is how it works. So again, we have got set of operators. So you need to define set of operators again in artificial intelligence or whenever you are solving a problem. It is very important step. So the first operator is move disk from peg 1 to peg 2. So you can call those bars as either peg or pole. It's fine. So operator 2 is move disk from peg 1 to peg 3. Then operator 3 is move disk from peg 2 to peg 1. Then operator 4 is move disk from peg 2 to peg 3. Then fifth operator is move disk from peg 3 to peg 1. Then finally the sixth operator is move disk from peg 3 to peg 2. Okay. So these are some of the operators which we are going to use whenever we are moving the disk from first peg to the third peg using second peg as the intermediary. Now, once you define the operators, you need to draw the search tree. Again, search tree is very simple. It is going to represent all possible solutions to the problem. So in first set of brackets some numbers have been written. And second and third set of brackets are empty. Okay, so the first set of bracket represents the number of discs in first peg. Then second one is empty. Third one is also empty. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah. So you can see here. So each set of brackets represent the pole or a peg. Okay. So what is our goal? Move 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 from first set of brackets to third set of brackets using second set of brackets. Okay. Now you can see here the initial position is 1, 2, 3 empty brackets and empty brackets. Now then what are the solutions? At the top we have the smallest disk. Then there are only two possible solutions. You have to move that smallest possible disk either to second pole or third pole. Okay, either to second peg or third peg. So you can see here the same thing has been represented here. Okay, 2, 3 is in first disk. Then we have moved 1 to second set of brackets on the left hand side of the tree. And on the right hand side of the tree, we have moved the same first disk to third set of brackets. So these are the only two possible solutions available to us. Now, again come back to the left hand side of the tree. If you move, okay, if you move disk 1 to the second peg, then you can move disk 3 to the disk 2 to the third peg. Okay, you can move disk 2 to the third peg. Then similarly, you can observe the right hand side of the tree. So you can move disk 2 to the second peg. Now in this condition, again you traverse further, again you go down the tree. So you can observe here that, so when you have the possibility of 3, 1, 2, that means on first peg we have disk 3, on second peg we have disk 1, and on third we have disk 2. Then again we have got three possibilities. So first possibility is that move disk 1 from peg 2 to peg 1. So now it becomes 1, 3, and again second is empty now. Otherwise, the possibility is that move second disk, move first disk, okay, move first disk from second peg to the third peg. Okay. So in either case, our second peg is going to remain empty. So same thing happens on the right hand side of the tree. In both the cases, our third peg is going to remain empty. So this is how you are going to solve this problem. Again, it's a partial tree. When you reach the solution, you are going to see the first bracket set empty, second bracket set empty, and third bracket set will be having 1, 2, 3. So that means you have successfully moved all three disks, and they are in the same order. Okay. So same thing is shown here. 1, 2, 3. Then empty brackets is the initial state, whereas the goal state is empty brackets, and 1, 2, 3 is the goal state. Okay, we'll discuss few more things in the next class. Of inputs increase, or as the inputs increase, it's going to take polynomial time to solve the problem, and at some time it becomes impossible for a deterministic computer to give the result. So how to solve such problems using deterministic computer, we will see in the next class. So for that we are going to study two important concepts. One is the problem explosion and the goal reduction. So using goal reduction technique, you can easily solve such problems in a deterministic time. Okay. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.